Women-owned banks by state. They are still very few, but the number is growing. On March 5, 2021, the Board of Directors of the Federal Reserve System announced that the system would be expanding its definition of minority depository institution (MDI) to include women-owned financial institutions. Although women actually make up a substantial portion of the global population, the extension of this definition is an important step toward recognizing that women have often been excluded from the financial industry. This underrepresentation is evident in the relatively small number of women-owned banks in the United States. According to the World Bank, as of 2019, women accounted for roughly 49.6% of the global population. The figure was even higher in the US that year, with women representing 50.8% of the total population, or more than 331 million people. Yet, despite a 58.3% participation rate in the US workforce, women are severely unrepresented across many sectors of the nation's economy. Anyone familiar with other MDI categories is likely accustomed to the learning that a particular group of MDI is vastly outnumbered by the amount of non-MDI in the US. Yet, with just 13 banks listed by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency (OCC), women-owned financial institutions are themselves outnumbered by the total number of Black-owned banks, Asian American-owned banks, Native American-owned banks, and Hispanic American-owned banks. That said, women-owned banks represent the second largest OCC-regulated MDI group. What all these institutions have in common is that, while open to all, MDI possess the perspective necessary to best secure the financial well-being of their respective groups, including understanding the special issues faced by these customers. What is a minority depository institution? There are currently 4,914 commercial banks and saving institutions insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation (FDIC) in the United States. A financial institution will only be considered an MDI by the FDIC if it is a federal insured depository institution for which 51% or more of the voting stock is owned by minority individuals, or a majority of the board of directors is a minority and the community that the institution serves is predominantly minority. Ownership must be by U.S. citizens or permanent legal U.S. residents to be counted in determining minority ownership. As of Q4 2021, the Federal Reserve has yet to issue an official list of women-owned banks in the U.S. As such, the financial institution featured in this article represent the 13 women-owned banks that are regulated by the OCC. Additionally, as the OCC doesn't specify ownership type, it's impossible to know which of these are women-owned banks and which are banks with a majority female board. As explained in email correspondence with the OCC Public Affairs Department, this roster is up to date as of January 2021 and doesn't include CRED-regulated institutions or those regulated by the FDIC or Federal Reserve. The OCC is responsible for the supervision of 1,118 national banks, Federal Saving Association, and federal branches and agencies of foreign banks. The FDIC quarterly list of MDI includes the institution it supervises and those that are regulated by the OCC and the Fed. As such, the OCC roster and, by extension this article, only covers a portion of the women-owned banks in the U.S. As explained in an email correspondence with the Federal Reserve, Women Depository Institution (WDI) will appear in the list of the Fed website as they are discovered. Once this roster becomes publicly available, we will be able to provide a more comprehensive listing in this article. Thank you.